is Ty, and this is my first attempt at an ASMR video, and I'm just gonna hop right into it. I've been watching ASMR for probably over 10 years at this point, which is crazy, but like 2010 or 2011, and I just got the urge to make a video today, so that's what I did, or am doing. So, let's just hop right into it. I have two stacks of books here. One is nonfiction and the other one is fiction. I'm gonna go back and forth with these and just give you some info on the books. And if anything interests you, definitely check it out because I picked these out for a reason. So if something speaks to you, listen to it. Okay, so let's start with fiction. So, the first book I have is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. Now, I have a habit with hardcover books where I take off these slipcovers. I cannot stand reading a book with the slipcover on because it does the thing where it like rides up and it's just like, I can't handle it. So I usually take it off when I put it back on for the video to be able to read the snippet and kind of make some sounds with it and everything like that. So as you can see, I'm not very far through it right now. I think I'm like 3 or 4 chapters in. The chapters are pretty short. This book was written in like the 1850s, and the language has been translated like 7,000 times, but the language is pretty old age, so when reading it, I have to read it pretty slow to kind of understand and comprehend what's going on, which is kind of embarrassing, but I digress. So I'm going to read this snippet. Professor Aronnax, a marine biologist, joins harpoonist Ned Land in search of a mysterious sea creature in the open ocean, only to discover that the beast is actually a submarine piloted by the enigmatic Captain Nemo. They are taken captive, thus beginning a strange undersea voyage from Antarctic ice shelves to the submerged city of Atlantis, hunting sharks along the way. Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, first serialized from 1869 to 1870, is an incredible adventure story that popularized science fiction around the world. They say that Jules Verne was one of the many like firsts of his kind in terms of creating like a science fiction adventure novel. I think he did Around the World in 80 Days and a bunch of other stuff, which they actually talk about in here in like the intro. So I really like it so far though. It's definitely something I would recommend to people who really like science fiction, and like a lot of like, maybe not world building, but someone reading someone who is very good at like painting a picture. So yeah, I definitely recommend. I got it for pretty cheap actually at Books A Million. I think it was like $7.97. It was on sale, which was really cool, and I think I get an extra like 10% because I'm a Books A Million like gold member or whatever. Right now I'm using a receipt for a bookmark. I need to pick up some more bookmarks. That's kind of embarrassing. But I've always liked physical books more than reading ebooks. I have a few fiction books that are Kindle on my Kindle, but there's nothing like holding an actual book, you know? So let's go to a nonfiction one. This one is called Overcoming Perfectionism, Anxiety, and Indecision. This is for all you people who put off tasks because you're too busy planning for them and trying to make them just like top tier, and then you never actually end up completing the task. And I think this was about $10 or so on Amazon. Not very expensive at all. Very quick read. I think it's less than 200 pages. The text is pretty large, so I wife's recommendation and was blown away at how unique this series is, and it's just awesome. So I highly recommend. Definitely recommend. I will be putting all of the book titles and everything in the description if something calls out to you, and maybe even in the pinned comment. But yeah, so let's go back to a nonfiction. I've been in this like nonfiction void lately. I've been really gravitating towards self-improvement, self-help, whatever you want to call it. And obviously most of those are nonfiction. So this one is How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LeBera. I have her other book as well. It is a workbook called How to Meet Yourself, and I really liked that. And in that workbook, she mentioned this other work of hers, and I instantly bought it on Amazon because I really, really, really benefited from the workbook, which I also highly recommend. My wife is currently using it, so I don't have it here in front of me. Funny story about Nicole LeBera. She is on TikTok, and recently I saw one of her videos, didn't know it was her, and saw this book in the video in the background, like laying on the table, which is really good, like self-promo. And I was like, oh my god, she has that book, that's awesome. And then I was like, oh, this is the author. So I obviously followed her. Another hardcover, so I had this slipcover off pretty much the whole time. I don't know why. I think it's just like it slips out of my hands, and I just can't handle like any sort of small inconvenience in my life. is the holy grail of self-improvement books, at least my own holy grail. This was the first book that I ever read in this area, and it completely changed my outlook on the world, which can be scary, but it has done nothing but lead me to becoming a better person and a better version of myself. So I love this book. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. He has a few other books as well that I need to pick up, but this is like a guide to spiritual enlightenment. It's all about being present in the moment, not letting depression keep you in the past, and not letting anxiety control your outlook on the future, which then affects the present, if that makes sense. So it's a very popular book. If you're familiar at all in self-improvement, you probably know of this book. It's been around for almost 20 years, I think. But I'll read some of the chapter names to give you more of an idea. Chapter 1, You Are Not Your Mind. Chapter 2, Consciousness, The Way Out of Pain. Chapter 8, Enlightened Relationships. Chapter 5, The State of Presence. And something interesting about this book is the way that it's written as well. It's definitely, blocks of information, but it's also, there's some question and answer style in this, which I really like, because as someone who questions everything about the world around them, whenever I came up with an objection of any kind or a question, I felt like it was answered. And even questions that I had that I didn't even know that I had were answered through that formatting. So I really appreciate the way that this is written. I'm going to go ahead and read the back. To make the journey into the power of now, we will need to leave our analytical mind and its false created self, the ego, behind. From the very first page of this extraordinary book, we move rapidly into significantly higher altitude where we breathe a lighter air. We become connected to the indestructible essence of our being, the eternal, ever-present, one life beyond the myriad forms of life that are subject to birth and death. Although the journey is challenging, Eckhart Tolle uses simple language and an easy question and answer format to guide us. This is so good. I really highly recommend, if you don't like any of these other books, this one would be the one I'd say is the necessary pickup. It's not very expensive either. None of these really are. I think the last book that I'm going to go over is the most expensive. And that's because I bought it at a bookstore rather than buying it online, which I have no problem with. I like supporting bookstores. I have highlighted a lot in this book, not the whole thing, but I've read it multiple times, and I find myself in times of feeling disconnected. I find myself drawn to reading this again and again, which I like a lot. Okay. On to the next one. The rest are nonfiction as well. So this one, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. This is a serious read. It is really good for people who are interested in healing their childhood trauma wounds, that kind of thing. How to deal with distant, self-involved parents, people who dealt with parents who were emotionally unavailable. I really benefited from this book, and there's actually a workbook as well that I got, and working through that was awesome as well. This book isn't just blocks of text either. There are some things not worksheets, but what's the word? Exercises to do. I don't know why that was so hard for me to come up with. But I'm going to go ahead and read the back. Oh, by the way, the author is Lindsay Gibson. Was your parent difficult, immature, or emotionally unavailable? If you grew up with an emotionally immature, unavailable, or selfish parent, these wounds can be healed and you can move forward in your life. In this breakthrough book, clinical psychologist Lindsay Gibson exposes the destructive nature of parents who are emotionally immature or unavailable. You will see how these parents create a sense of neglect and discover ways to heal from the pain and confusion caused by your childhood. By freeing yourself from your parents' emotional immaturity, you can recover your true nature, control how you react to them, and avoid disappointment. Finally, you'll learn how to create positive new relationships so you can build a better life. And absolutely, it does all those things. It doesn't excuse like neglectful or abusive parents' behavior, but it has a good way of explaining why they might have made the decisions they made and how you can move on. In whatever way moving on means to you. This is another one that honestly I should highlight, and I think I need to read this again soon. Just because I really like the messages in it, and it has helpful exercises on just coming to grips with your past. I honestly think everyone could benefit from this book, even if you didn't, or even if you don't think that you've gone through emotional neglect or things, things of that nature. But everyone should read it, in my opinion. Alright, so the next one is a newer one that I actually haven't finished yet. I'm close to finishing, but I haven't finished yet. It's the hardcover, The Courage to be Disliked, and the author is Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitaki Koga, which I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is another one that I really like how it's formatted. It is fully a conversation that goes back and forth between a philosopher and a young person. The young person will object to the things the philosopher's saying, and it does the same thing like the other book does with answering those questions and clarifying things that maybe need to be clarified. In the first probably 30 to 40 pages of this book, I felt like my outlook on my life completely changed for the better. This author also has a book called The Courage to be Happy, I believe, which I need to also get. Maybe hard to see, but it does go from philosopher to youth. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and read the blurb. Is happiness something you choose for yourself? The Courage to be Disliked presents a simple and straightforward answer. Using the theories of Alfred Adler, one of the three giants of 19th century psychology, alongside Freud and Jung, this book follows an illuminating dialogue between a philosopher and a young man. Over the course of 5 conversations, the philosopher helps his student to understand how each of us is able to determine the direction of our own life, free from the shackles of past traumas and the expectations of others. Rich in wisdom, The Courage to be Disliked will guide you through the concepts of self-forgiveness, self-care, and mind decluttering. It is a deeply liberating way of thinking, allowing you to develop the courage to change and ignore the limitations that you might be placing on yourself. This plain-spoken and profoundly moving book unlocks the power within you to find lasting happiness and be the person you truly want to be. Millions have already benefited from his teachings, and now you can too. And this is exactly why I hate hardcovers. The slipcover is like already coming up because of the way I'm holding it. I have little sprout bookmarks that I really think are cute. But definitely shifted my mindset, which her channel.